It's now time for On the Line with Cheryl Wilkerson. The conversation will range from local dialogue to international. This show is meant to enlighten, inform, and to inspire. On the Line with Cheryl Wilkerson begins now.
Hello and welcome to On the Line. I'm your host, Cheryl Wilkerson. Thanks for joining me on this Sunday morning. I do appreciate it. I have two guests coming your way today. Of course, Virginia Beach has made national headlines this week. We'll talk about that just a little bit later. But first, a young man on the phone that is doing some good things out here in the community, out here in the world, trying to get people to understand the power of patience. We welcome to On the Line Troy Whitehurst. He's written a book. It's called Choose to Be Happy. Choose to Be Happy. Welcome to On the Line. How are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you for having me, ma'am. And you are definitely a pillar of the community as well. So I thank you for taking the time to bring me on to your show.
No problem whatsoever. So patience. I find this so interesting because everything is so microwave these days. And here you are writing a book about the complete opposite. Why is that?
Well, you know, the book is really a journey of hope for anybody who is going through any type of adverse situation in life. You know, whether they are diagnosed with an unexpected illness, whether they had, you know, somebody who passed away in their family, whether they were in a relationship, a marriage, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend, and that person walked out of their life. You know, it doesn't matter. Like, we have to be able to find ways to be able to cope with those types of situations. And a lot of those things is just being able to shift our perspective, shift our mindset, and take some action to move in a positive direction.
And where did your motivation come from to write this book?
Well, I've been a teacher and a basketball coach for a number of years, and I went to Fort Myers, Florida to coach basketball, and I ended up getting sick while I was down there. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis back in 2016. But I'm a believer in faith, and I knew that that God had me in this situation, and He actually healed my body. I changed my diet.
Mm-hmm.
I started speaking His word of healing over my life. I started using some natural supplements, and in a year and a half, my symptoms reversed. But because I couldn't teach and coach anymore, I had to find something else to do, so I started working in insurance. But I can tell you, it was definitely a journey in that process. But one of the things was I developed a perspective, because, I mean, again, like Memorial Day was hard for me. You know, I'm in Virginia, and you know, people are barbecuing, and, you know, they got racks of ribs and sausages and hamburgers and barbecue. And, I mean, it's just, and, I mean, it was difficult. But I shifted my perspective, my mindset, to say there is nothing that tastes as good as being healthy feels.
Correct. I agree with that. If other people had that mindset, man, we would have a healthier United States or world, right?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You know, and the thing is, you know, there are a lot of things, these situations that occur in our life, we have to be able to overcome those things. And again, it becomes a renewing of our mind. You know, like, everybody can accomplish their dreams and the things that they want to. And one of the other concepts I talk about in the book is how you can, like, being in the moment and going from a moment to a monument. You know, the difference between moment and monument is in you. Mm. If you look at the spelling of the word, it is in you. That's the only difference. You think about things that become monuments: statue of Martin Luther King, Taj Mahal, the White House. These are monuments, but they were things that developed in time because of a moment and taking action.
Makes sense. Does faith and patience, do those two automatically go together?
It has to. Because, see, the thing about it is, it doesn't happen in our time. It happens in God's time. And, you know, because, again, you said it in the beginning, we're in this microwave time frame, and it doesn't happen like that. And it takes time. I can tell you one of the things that happened, because I didn't even interview for this job in Florida. And the thing about it is, like, they had to go through the process of getting my paperwork straight. And I'm just not going to leave my current school just to go to this school, and I don't know that everything is clear. So I had to, it was July 16th. I had to just till July 16th in order to let my current school district know that I wasn't coming back, or they were going to hold me for 30 days, and then I wouldn't have been able to take the position. But at that time, I had to say, God, if you really want me to take advantage of this opportunity, then you'll open up that door. And if not, then I'm not supposed to go. And I literally got a call the morning of July the 16th.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, your paperwork is clear. You can go. And but it was nerve-wracking because I'm like, man, this is an amazing opportunity, and the door seemed like it's open for me. But it was a lot of delays. There was a lot of waiting, and that's how life is sometimes. But the things it's greater later. I remember my grandmother saying, hey, if we had some pizza, Pizza Hut pizza tastes better if you heat it in the oven than you heat it in the microwave.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So let me ask you this. Patience. So is it a different lesson for adults than it is for, say, a high school age? Is it a different lesson there?
No, it all really applies, to everybody. If you have goals, you have dreams, you have things that you want to accomplish in life, you have to work towards those things, and it doesn't happen overnight. People see, the NBA teams or the football Super Bowl champions, and they're holding up the trophy, but they don't see the sacrifice and the commitment and the work that goes in behind the scenes in order to achieve that trophy. But we all want to hold up the trophy.
Right.
We got to be able to put it. We got to be able to put in that work, and so sometimes we have to be patient with ourselves, and we have to be patient with other people.
I don't see too much of that these days. When you look in politics, when you look in sports, you got the whole thing with the women and the WNBA and the media trying so hard to pit them against each other. And politics, well, that's already blown up. I don't see this patience.
No, again, it's something that has to be developed, and no difference than, somebody, they're working on their jump shot. It takes time to develop a good jump shot. You think about Michael Jordan and how he got cut from his his high school team, and this man shot 300 jump shots every day until the tryout started the following year.
But Troy, I have students, that will tell me now they don't even watch movies anymore because of their attention span. A movie is too long for them. I'm like, Lord have mercy.
Yes, I can definitely understand that. With the technology and the phone,
yes,
everything is short clips and things like that and reels. And so our attention spans can be short, but again, we have to be able to retrain our mind. I think that everything happens when we renew our mind towards things. It doesn't matter if it's health, it doesn't matter if it's exercise, it's finances, it's insurance. Like even, as an insurance agent, like we do life insurance, we do health insurance, we do supplemental benefits with Aflac for small businesses. And I'm battling a mindset of people every day because we don't feel like we need insurance in our community until we need insurance.
Until we need it, that's right.
Insurance. And that's not a good way to think, but again, that's how some people feel, and we have to begin to retrain our mind towards that thing. So, and for me, I have developed patience with my people, with your cousins. I have developed patience.
If you just joined us, this interview has been with Mr. Troy Whitehurst. He has written a book. I need you all to pick up the book. It's called Choose to Be Happy. Troy, tell them how they can get a copy.
It is available on my website, TroyWhitehurst.com. They can find it on Amazon. Our other website for our insurance company is WeGetYouCovered.com. All of these things are, these places they can do. It's TroyWhitehurst.com, or if they go right to Amazon. The audio book should be available in the next few weeks. But if people they want to get the audio book, I can send it to them directly as well via iTunes or Spotify.
We thank you for all the hard work that you do, and somebody needs to talk about patience. I'm very glad that it's you. Thank you for joining me this morning.
Thank you, ma'am.
Take care. All right, don't you all go anywhere. As promised, Virginia Beach has made the headlines this week with this woman and this condo and this molecular scientist that says, oh, I can pay the $749,000 for your condo. I love it. And then the white woman says, no, I'm not going to sell it to you because you're black. We're going to talk about that and much more. Keep it right here. I'm Cheryl Wilkerson on the line. Welcome back. I told you I had another guest coming on today. And so Tiante Gray is a mortgage broker. Did I get that right, Tiante?
Yes, you did. I actually am a loan officer, branch manager for a broker, a mortgage broker. So I just want to be clear. Anybody Google me or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, it's... everybody may not be familiar with all the terms, but look, you are in there in this real estate world. So we wanted to talk to you today because so many headlines about how hard it is to get into the housing market. We want to talk to you about that. Is that true? Is that false? Also, is there hope for people out there? I read stories and they say, you know what, the average couple in the average American city today is going to have to save for 9 years or 20 years before they can even afford a home. So we want to get into all of that. And, of course, the stories that are making the headlines. So you're down for all of that?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so tell me, what exactly is your job? What do you do?
All right, so my job is actually to originate the loans. I'm the guy that's going to give you your pre-approval. And you were right. It's a whole bunch of terms, the bank, the lender, mortgage broker, all that stuff. It's the same thing. It's interchangeable. So what I do is I go get the application. I'm an independent broker, so I have to go get my own business. I pre-qualify you based off your debt-to-income ratio, credit, assets, and everything like that, and I pre-approve you. Once you're pre-approved, you're able to go start shopping for a home.
You make it sound so simple, but it's not.
Well, it is. Once you do this every day, it becomes easier. It's foreign to most people, but once you're on this other side, you're able to explain it in layman's terms and make it seem an easier process for everyone.
So for the new home buyer out there that wishes to buy a home right now, are they coming to you? Are they finding a realtor? And what should they look for in these individuals? How do you know when you have a very good professional?
Well, one of the things is we live in a culture where everything is based off reviews. So I always recommend you do your research, look for reviews, see if this person has a personality that you can actually communicate with, see how available they are. This is for your realtors. See how available they are. And when you want to go see properties, if they're full-time, part-time, all those things make a difference. Now, I always recommend clients to start off with me to get your pre-approval. I'm able to work with any realtor, so it doesn't matter. But what's the point of going to look for houses if you don't know what's your buying power? Mm-hmm. Get your buying power, understand where you're at, and then get with the realtor to show you, say, hey, I got my pre-approval from Tiante. It's a solid pre-approval. He has checked everything. We don't have nothing to worry about. This is my buying power, $350. And that way you can stay looking at houses in the $350 range and not $600,000 range.
But, that step is scary to a lot of people.
Yes, it is. And we try to make the process non-scary. So one of the things I do work for Core Mortgage. I brand myself as team grade lending. And what we do is we do a soft credit check to start off with the application process. That way you're not paying for a credit check up front and you're not afraid to get your credit ran because it's not going to affect your credit. Once I get all your documents, then I'll let you know, hey, you are able to purchase at $350 with these current interest rates. And then I'll allow you to make the decision, okay, I want to move forward with that. And that's when we'll do one hard inquiry that's good for 90 days.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because I was associated with a business that I soon left because they would tell people that it was a soft credit check, but really it was a hard credit check. So is there something that a consumer can do just across the board if somebody tells you that? Is there a way you can make sure that, in fact, it is a soft ding on your credit and they're not really dinging it?
it's so hard to make sure that they're doing a soft credit because, again, the verbiage is on the application to say, do you consent to a credit inquiry? So they don't necessarily say it's a soft or a hard. But me being an independent business owner, I have to stand by my brand and my integrity and my character. So I'm not going to tell you it's a soft and then you get this hard inquiry because that's going to affect my business. Deontay pulled my heart. It's going to be all over the news and all over Facebook. And people are not going to work with us. And that's one of the benefits of working with a mortgage broker because we're not a big company that we can just hide behind, well, let me transfer you customer service. No, I am the customer service. So my word is my bond. I have to stand on it.
It's good that you take that so seriously. That's good for consumers to hear. So once you have come up with what you can afford and you go out and you look at homes, then how do you next come into play? Are you still involved in the process at that point?
Yes. So once you go and start looking at homes, you and your realtor will go negotiate and put in an offer. And that offer will allow you to get under contract, which has happened with the situation that we're going to talk about a little bit later. Once you're under contract, they call it, you go into escrow. The realtor will send me the contract. I submit your contract to the lender. We go on underwriting. At that point, I have a processor that will reach out to get your paperwork and everything. I'm kind of just like the numbers guy. And I'll say, hey, today is Wednesday. The interest rates are 6.75%. I don't think the rates are going to go down. Are you comfortable with this payment? Let's go ahead and lock your rate in. That way you don't have to worry about it anymore. Once I get to that point of the process, I'm kind of done with the process until we get down to almost closing time. Because my processor were able to do everything else for me. My job is to try to go out and help other home buyers create wealth by buying a home.
Wonderful. So if we have a molecular scientist in Virginia Beach that wants to buy a condo for $749,000 and everybody is like, oh, this is wonderful. And then all of a sudden the rug is pulled under her because the 84-year-old white seller does not want to sell because of the beautiful black skin of this scientist. What is the recourse for somebody in that situation?
Well, I mean, it's going to be a bad situation as far as in a recourse because at the end of the day, it was discrimination. And that's something that the Fair Housing Act does not play with. I read this article and I was kind of torn because you want to protect your fellow professionals, but it just had to be a better way to relay the message. I can't say what happened with the realtor and her situation and her relationship to the buyer agent. But I know for a fact that there's another way she could have went about it. Like, I would have talked to the lady and said, hey, we can't say that. We got to say something else. We got to say you're sick. We got to say you don't feel good. We can't say you don't want to sell it to her no more because she's black. That's absurd. This is not 1926.
But don't you, Deontay, don't you feel like the real estate agents, they were like caught off guard and like you said, they didn't come out with the best response because I just truly think it caught them off guard because while they may not be that type of person, they don't realize that there are people out there in the world that still have this sentiment about black people buying homes.
Yes. So, and when you read the article, it's one point somebody that's working in the industry that I look at and I kind of pinpoint. At the point of my client telling me that she no longer wants to be under the contract because the person is black, at that point, I can't say what the lady did or didn't do, but this is based off the article. I should have had a conversation with her and say, Miss Smith, we can't say that. We can't do that. Let me talk to your family. Let's huddle up, come up with a game plan, and then I will reach out to the other side and let them know what you want to do. Because there's one thing, once you're in a contract, you could be sued for breaking the contract if it's not something that you guys agree upon, but you don't want to get a lawsuit for discrimination. Like, I read the article, and I'm like, I know she didn't just go right to the buyer agent and say, hey, they said this girl's black. They don't want to sell to her no more. I mean, there has to have been another way. And it's an article, so you don't know really what happened. It could have been they found out later on that was the reason. I just know it could have been done differently. And it's unfortunate for the buyer.
And people don't realize that there were whole deeds that were written that said houses at one point could not be sold to a Negro. And people don't realize the history that we have been through. They haven't seen these deeds, but they have existed in the past. And like I said earlier, there's still some people with this mindset. Also, we have Wendell Pierce, the actor, and he's speaking out on the same topic. It seems as though he was trying to get a mortgage and he came across the same problem. And I mean, he's a well-known actor. You don't think these things happen, but they do happen.
Well, I tell, and it's so unfortunate that, and I know Wendell Pierce's situation is slightly different because it was basically a rental. Mm-hmm. I used to do property management, and he's offered to pay a year. At that point, do you want your money or not? Because it's going to be discrimination if you don't take that offer. A year up front, that is wild to me. But I tell people this. We have come to this real estate game kind of late from what our parents and grandparents did. It was so much discrimination that's still going on in the market. We don't hear about it until it gets to somebody's tweeting it out, until it gets to the news. Mm-hmm. It's in lending. And that was one of the joys of me becoming a mortgage broker is because I'm able to help our people qualify and get into homes when they've been told no and not understand why they've been told no. They don't even put them on a path to get to a yes. They say, no, you're not ready. And it causes us to lose our dreams and our hopes, and we put it to the side that we can't own a home. It's too hard. And, again, that's going to affect generational wealth. That's going to affect cultural wealth. And that's why we're at the bottom of the totem pole.
Wendell Pierce, the actor, said, for those of you who don't understand my righteous anger, I'm on 2 TV series, Lisbeth and Raising Canaan. I'm filming Superman. 2 years ago, I finished the 4th season of Jack Ryan. Last year, I finished a run on Broadway in Death of a Salesman. Even with my proof of employment, bank statements, and real estate holdings, a white apartment owner denied my application to rent the apartment in Harlem, of all places. We've got to change this around. Yeah. So it's people like you that, like you said earlier, you're going to change it because you have your own company. You're out here helping our people understand the game. And for that, I am so very thankful. So until we can duplicate you 100 million times over, what's your best advice for people?
Best advice is, first of all, reach out and have a conversation. Don't be afraid to have a conversation. We talked about it earlier. You say, how can people get in a home? There's all kind of programs for you. Don't come in the mindset that you just need a program because a program may not be best for you. Allow someone like myself to guide you. We have a 0% down program on a conventional loan, which is unheard of. We have down payment assistance. Get into the game. At least get on a path to get to where you want to be. Don't give up if somebody gave you a no. At least ask questions to say, okay, how can I turn this no into a yes? If it's credit repair, if it's savings, whatever it is, have the conversation, get a plan. Spend time with somebody that's going to work with you and give you those information because it's your right to own a home. It's your right to own property.
So it's like you might have some people that come to you and you have to change their whole mindset, or you might meet them out in the street and just start talking to them at a coffee shop or whatever, and you might have to change their whole mindset because they may say, nobody I know has ever owned a home, so that may never enter their mind.
Yes. Sometimes I joke with my friends and say, I'm out here preaching this good real estate gospel. I get a lot of first-time home buyers. And, people are working at the shipyard. They're working at these companies for years and never thought that, hey, wait a minute, I can leverage my 401k to purchase a home. You got to pay to live somewhere. Either way, might as well gain some equity with it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And, for some people, it's just downright a scary situation. I mean, really, it is.
It is.
And
it can be scary.
I want to ask you this. Is flipping still such a big thing in the world of real estate?
People are still doing flips. So you have to understand it's a lot of, in our culture, and I can only speak for us, we look at certain areas and we say we don't want to live there. That's downtown Newport News, or that's Portsmouth, or whatever the area is. And then investors come, they get these old houses, they gut these houses out, they renovate these houses, and guess what? They'll sell the house to other cultures that don't know it's bad news or don't know it's downtown Portsmouth. And again, we're missing out because we are stuck in our mindset. Instead of saying, "Oh, let me get this 120 property, get a 2 or 3K loan, renovate it, fix it up, and now I can have more value in my home."
And I know you've got to get out of here, and the show is about to end. But what advice do you have for people out there that they may have gotten a what do you call a foreclosure notice? What advice? What's the first step they should take?
First step, if you got a foreclosure notice, to reach out to your loan servicer and see what programs they have to prevent the foreclosure. Don't sell your home to somebody for $10,000. Reach out to the servicer first to see what they can do to help you.
Okay. All right. Man, you have been a wealth of information. Tiante Gray, thank you so much. All right. You can't leave until you tell people how they can get in contact with you.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for having the opportunity to get me on this show. You can reach me on all socials at Team Gray with GRAY Lending on Instagram or Facebook. Actually, the website is teamgraylending.com as well.
You are wonderful. Thank you for taking care of our community and looking out for our community. I love you for that. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you so much as well.
Take care. All right, there you all have it. Another On the Line in the bag. I'm Cheryl Wilkerson. So grateful to have this time with you from the beautiful campus of Norfolk State University. As always, behold the green and gold.